This is the Personal Finance Show.
Hi, I'm Bo Humphreys, and this is the small business episode of the Personal Finance Show. I'm so excited about this episode. If you listen to the show, you probably know that I'm a personal finance coach. I help people organize and simplify their personal finances. But I also have tons of experience with bookkeeping and accounting, so on the small business side, I'm also a bookkeeping coach. I help people learn how to do their basic small business bookkeeping. And because QuickBooks Online has this awesome program for accountants and bookkeepers, I became a QuickBooks Online ProAdvisor. But maybe you don't need a coach like me. Maybe you need an experienced bookkeeper or accountant who knows your type of business. Maybe someone who's done small business tax returns for the last 20 years and understands how to make sure the Canada Revenue Agency, or CRA, doesn't come knocking at your door. And if they do, you're ready for them. People ask me to recommend an accountant all the time. They want someone they can trust. So I decided to build my new site, financialaccounting.ca. Financialaccounting.ca is Canada's bookkeeping and accounting hub, and it is live today. I have featured accountants who I've met and are real people. You'll hear from them later in this episode. There are also tons of companies who have created apps that are integrated with QuickBooks Online. These are apps that make data entry easier, help you get paid quicker, make payroll and benefits really easy, just to name a few. I met some of these QuickBooks partners, and you'll hear from a few of them later in the show too. But first up in the show, I was lucky enough to get an interview with Geoff Cates, President and CEO of Intuit Canada, the company behind QuickBooks Online, TurboTax, and Mint. At the December 2017 QuickBooks Connect conference in Toronto, we talked about how automation and artificial intelligence are changing the way we manage business finances. There's some really fascinating stuff coming that's going to ultimately make it easier for the user, you, to focus on growing your business instead of worrying about your accounting. But before I get to my interview with Geoff, I have to tell you about a special offer I have if you have been thinking about starting with QuickBooks Online but haven't paid for a subscription yet. The best part about being a QuickBooks ProAdvisor, other than being able to coach you online from anywhere and help you learn how to manage your own small business finances, is that I can help you immediately pay less for your QuickBooks subscription. You might already be using QuickBooks, and if you're paying into it directly, you're paying either $27 a month for the Essentials version or $40 a month for the Plus version. There are other cheaper versions, but I recommend that you at least sign up for Essentials. But Intuit has this thing called wholesale billing, where instead of paying Intuit directly, you pay me, your ProAdvisor, for your monthly subscription. And if you switch over to billing through me, you save 50% every month for as long as you're subscribed and paying through me. So instead of $27 a month for Essentials, it's only $13, which is actually slightly more than 50% off. And instead of $40 a month for Plus, it's $20. This is an awesome deal, and if you're using QuickBooks and don't have an accountant or bookkeeper who is a ProAdvisor, tell them now to sign up, it's free, so that you can stop paying full price for QuickBooks. Don't even think about this, just do it. But that's not my special offer. You can get the 50% discount from any ProAdvisor. My offer is only available to 10 people, and it's only for someone who has never had a QuickBooks Online subscription. For 10 people, I have 10 subscriptions to the Plus version, which is normally $40 a month or $480 a year. I'm offering it for only $10 a month plus HST, for as long as you're subscribed and paying through me. This is a crazy good deal. My only conditions are that you pay for at least 1 hour of coaching with me at $50 an hour plus HST, and that you plan on being subscribed for the long term. It would really suck if I used one of my 10 discounted subscriptions on you and you cancel 6 months later. In fact, if you pay in advance for the first year, instead of $120 for the year, I'll only charge you $100 plus HST. That's $8.33 a month plus HST for a QuickBooks Online Plus subscription, which is normally $40. Remember, I only have 10 of these. So if you're interested, go to financialaccounting.ca and send me a message on my contact page, and we can book a 15-minute online chat and talk about your situation. I put all this together to help you get your business organized. That's what my new site is about. Whether it's me or someone else you find on the site, I want to make sure you know where to find the tools you need and the right people to help you. Okay, now let's get started with Geoff Cates, President and CEO of Intuit Canada.
grew up just outside of Barrie. So for me, Barrie was a
Okay.
big town, which was
see.
at that time
Yeah.
25,000. So I grew up saying hi to everybody on the street and leaving my doors unlocked, which I learned in Toronto. That's not a best practice.
Not so much.
No. And then I did a lot of like entrepreneurial stuff as a kid, from cutting lawns and snow plowing, and then sealing driveways, 2 guys in a truck, assisted moving. And then eventually when I went to Mac, I started up a marketing consulting business. And then somehow or another I ended up on the corporate route, and I'm here where I am
so
today.
how do you develop the skills that help you be a president and CEO today? Like, how did the young entrepreneur stuff, did that help you? Or what you learned in university, or just experience?
I think it's probably a combination of a lot of those, quite frankly. Part is that natural curiosity and drive, like, hey, there's a problem, hey, I could go solve that. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of natural, and I think that's been a key element of my career. Of when I joined HP, I got advice really early on. Don't try to climb the ladder too quickly because you can get stuck. Take time to build a base so that when you do start moving up, you have more doors open. And that was really great advice. So I end up moving from product management to marketing to sales to biz dev before I went into management. And then after that, that allowed me to continue to take on new opportunities and new ways to continue to learn, because I had that solid base that people kind of trusted, like, hey, yeah, let's give it to Jeff. He can take it.
And that set you up so that when you eventually moved over to Intuit, this was 2011, is that right?
2011, yeah. I went from HP to Apple, and then from Apple to Intuit.
Apple to Intuit,
yeah.
And so you were ready to basically take on anything. You have a selection of products, and we're here at the QuickBooks Connect conference.
Yeah.
And but you mentioned Mint.com, and
yes.
And I've written blogs about Mint, and it's like the first part of my personal finance coaching system.
Great.
Is to get people to use Mint to track. So how do you manage all of these different products? They're connected, but they're different.
Yes. Well, increasingly they're even more connected. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, there's common things that bind us, right? Like our company vision is to power prosperity around the world, and we largely think of focusing on small business, self-employed, and consumer. And so things like TurboTax and Mint, they both solve different jobs, but now we're really looking at holistically at how do we bring these things together so that we can solve more jobs for Canadians, largely in personal finances, and then open up that data to others to be able to help solve problems as well. So there's a bit of, like, each of the businesses all kind of intersect. Self-employed intersects with consumer. Small business intersects with self-employed. It's there's a ton of innovation about to come out just as we look at holistically finding new ways to solve problems together.
And the data you mentioned, this is kind of an important theme throughout. And for a lot of the recent podcasts that I've done too. The first podcast I did was with a company called Dwello, and they're collecting rent data and working with TransUnion to try to make a rent-based credit score of some kind. And I think when you're talking about collecting information and trying to help people perhaps get loans based on the information in Mint or QuickBooks or and even some of your partners are integrated. Lending Loop is on my podcast, the second one, and they're connected to you guys in one way or another via the integration part, and it just makes it easier to get information about the business that is applying for the loan.
Yes, yeah, completely. We've focused a lot of energy here in particular on the business side. In fact, we launched QuickBooks Capital a couple of weeks ago at San Jose. QB Connect San Jose. So same kind of event today, but down in San Jose. And QB Capital is essentially, there's a big problem where small businesses are starting off with a very small amount of money, which leaves them a very low risk tolerance of if something pops up, you're done.
That's
right?
it.
And so we recognize that the banks just really aren't set up to be able to lend to these small organizations that don't have a lot of history.
Well, I was told that they're looked at as individuals.
They are.
And then they don't even qualify in the category that they're applying for.
That's right. I was just talking to an accountant. She said, well, one of my goals for tax purposes is to keep the salary salary low on the business owner. But then when they go in to get a loan, they're treated as an individual and the salary's low.
So you're being penalized for trying to be efficient, say.
That's right.
Trying to just, run your business in a streamlined kind of way, maybe even using things like, QuickBooks Online or TurboTax or the software that just makes everything a lot easier.
Yes.
And then the big banks are like, well, I'm not going to take you seriously.
That's right. So the models need to change to allow the lending institutions to think differently. And part of that means that they have to have access to information that helps them make better decisions. And that's sitting right in QuickBooks. Not only do we know your past, we've seen how you pay your bills and how much revenue you have and your assets, but we also see things like how many orders you have outstanding or bills you have coming up or invoices you've sent out. So we've kind of got your past, present, and to some extent your future. And so we now can use that and say, yeah, if we combine this data with credit score data, we actually can create new algorithms to be able to lend to very small or new companies at small amounts. And that's been transformational. In QB Capital, we actually stood up a bank in the U.S. just to be able to prove out the algorithms.
Really?
And now we're looking at, great, now that we've got these algorithms, how can we give those to other lending institutions to help them think differently about how they lend?
And I'm always cautious, especially from a personal standpoint about borrowing, right? And everyone should be, of course.
Yeah.
But borrowing is necessary for growth because a lot of times you might not make the money you need to expand for a little while. And if you're confident enough, or if you have the data that, and especially the artificial intelligence that you guys might be using to determine, well, this is a good enough risk, then borrowing will enable growth, and we need more of that.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just wait and save in a business sense, and it's completely counter to the advice I give from a personal finance standpoint.
Well, I would look at it as borrowing isn't necessarily bad. Surprise borrowing usually is. And so the trick is to be able to forecast out, here's what my life is going to be like, whether that's personal or business, and then be able to make smart decisions. Where technology is going, in particular, for example, QuickBooks Capital, we're able to say, hey, on this trend, you are going to have a shortage of capital, let's say to make payroll. And so let's get ahead of that.
You're going to get in trouble.
And find you the best way to get the money that you need for whatever period it is at the cheapest rate. And so because we're proactively, causing that conversation to be had, now you really can think through, okay, I need to solve that problem, but I don't want to be spending like crazy money on borrowing. So it's really exciting. I think there's just a massive amount we can do there to help Canadian small businesses be successful. And likewise, I think we'll be able to transfer that down to consumer as well and start to really help people make smart decisions around where their money's going and pay off the right bills at the right way so you can save money on interest charges. So there's a lot there. We're really early days as we open up kind of the TurboTax and think beyond just tax. But that's one of the areas that I believe we can have the biggest impact for Canadians.
I think back to my grade 11 accounting course. I don't know if you took any accounting in high school.
I was horrible at it.
But it was, well, it's funny because it was for the first 2 weeks, I think, debit is left, credit is right.
Yeah.
And that's all we needed to think about. Yeah. And, come back and talk to me in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
At the beginning, there were 30 people in the class, and 2 weeks later, there were 12.
Right. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Accounting has always been boring, right?
Yeah.
So what happened? How did it become this? Is technology responsible? Is the main thing responsible for this, or are we just because this is accessible for individual small businesses to just use and kind of figure out, especially if you're born after a certain year and you grew up with technology.
Yeah,
it's a breeze to use.
Yeah, well, there's a couple things there. It's interesting. I just had this conversation because we won the Established FinTech Award.
Oh, nice.
And this was like last week.
Established.
Established. It's like, wow, established. And so we've been around for over 35 years in Canada. Next year will be our 25th year. And so that is established. There's actually very few software companies that have made it.
It's still keep going. I spoke with one of your competitors. I use hand quotes there. Nobody saw me, but Wave, and they've been around here since 2010.
Yeah.
And they're a Toronto company, and they're Canadian. A lot of people don't even know that, and they have millions of users as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, it's a big deal for someone in this, well, not in accounting, but just in tech.
Yes.
To stick around, because you hear about startups and the busts and the booms and all.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you go back through our history, I think Microsoft either tried to buy us or kill us twice.
Sure.
Right. So that was big, especially back in those days when you think about what the world was like. So there's this like constantly disrupting and innovating and like forcing yourself to do new things. So there's like that just natural mindset of like, how can we make it easier? How can we make it easier? How can we make it easier? And then you combine that with things like mobile technology, which in itself have just a natural, you must make it simpler. It's a 4:3 screen kind of thing. And so those two things have been really transformational and driving change and simplification. The next big thing will be artificial intelligence. And so what we announced at the QuickBooks Connect conference is this new chatbot assistant.
Yeah, the QuickBooks Assistant.
Yeah, so you'll be able to use that with QuickBooks Self-Employed or QuickBooks. And what's really cool about this is you no longer have to know all the details or even how to get to the details.
Just you have to ask a question.
You just need to know the question you want to ask.
And is this based on this is based on data you've collected over the years, and it's also actively learning?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, what's really cool about this, so again, like what's really cool is all you need to know is the question. Right?
Ask a question.
Yeah. And the trick, of course, is creating a user interface that allows just a natural conversation to be had. And so you can ask things like, hey, how much money did I make last month, right? The next layer for AI is like make it contextual. If I say, how much money did I make last month? Now, how does that compare to last year? The system needs to be able to say, oh, you just asked me this question, and then you asked me this question. This one's related to that one, right? So it's called contextual, but it allows you to have like this natural, progressive conversation with the system, answering questions, and allow you to get easier insights into what's happening with your life.
And this is just now. Chatbots are becoming the thing now. Until maybe about a year ago, you couldn't do this as well.
It's exploded, and what's beautiful about them is you can have them self-learning, right? Somebody asks a question, and if we don't know what that is, we can say, what did you mean by that question? Try a different way. And now we can say, oh, when you ask this question, that's what it means. So it's self-learning. So we can just let it go now, and it will continue to learn different ways of asking questions, languages, problems that we should solve, and then we can continue to build that. And it's particularly exciting for us in Canada because it's much easier to solve for things like French language in that type of interaction than it is when you're trying to craft a standard app and trying to figure out what words to use and put them in multiple languages. A natural conversation is much easier to have more variability.
I also want to talk about now if the chatbot can answer your question, you can always get to a point where you can ask somebody who's real, right?
For sure.
And so that's what leads me to the real people. You guys have created this network, and I'm one of them, the QuickBooks ProAdvisor, and this whole network of people who are just knowledgeable and trained in your software, and you promote education in the software. The certification is free. I even get a free copy of QuickBooks for being a QuickBooks accountant, which is really encouraging because I'm all about education. I want to teach people how to use QuickBooks on their own.
Yeah.
And I think they can in the basic way. And then there's this network of pro advisors. Were you part of when this all came together? Were you leading?
When I started, so it was about 6 years ago now, we had a pro advisor base for desktop.
Okay, yes.
And it was the same kind of things, education, discount off software. What's happened since I've been here is this whole shift to the cloud. Shifting to giving bookkeepers and accountants real-time access to data and making their lives much more streamlined, like removing all that mundane work of like punching in receipts and so
the location independence. That's key for me. I work from my basement,
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about having to go to Staples or wherever to get the new package of software.
That's right.
I mean, this is how it used to be, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you started.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just changed so much. The transformational part in that is if you give somebody real-time access to data, and you give them more time because you stripped out all the mundane
That's
work.
Right.
Now they can spend time coaching their small business or a consumer for that matter, if it's taxes perhaps. And so you're enabling them to have a much bigger impact in the lives of the people that they serve. That's the part that's really, really been exciting.
Exactly. I mean, it seems like Intuit is a really big fan of just, promoting, as you said earlier, just Canadians and around the world. This is launched around the world, right?
For sure. Yeah, we've got a lot of things that we do specifically in Canada that I'm really proud of, in particular around things like financial literacy and helping startups grow. And so we've been leaders in that. But yeah, this whole concept of cloud and embracing the ecosystem. Yeah, we do this in every country because that's how you can have the biggest impact. We all support each other. We are better together. We just believe the technology there is an enabler, really. We help lift up the bookkeeper and the accountant to help small businesses be more successful. That's the role of technology.
People don't even know how to send an invoice. It used to be, can you get me an invoice? And there's the panic.
Yes.
Panic goes off, right? Like, I think I saw an Excel template about that, and then the Excel template, it just looks terrible, right?
Yeah.
And it just, everything's just so easy. I think this seems like the conversion date of like all of these things, the integrations with the, later on in the episode.
Yeah.
I'll be featuring some of your app partners, strategic app partners. Is that the right term for them?
Yeah.
And just the. What you guys haven't been wanted to focus on or just let them focus on.
Yeah.
These third-party app partners have focused on.
Yes.
And you actually just acquired one of them, did you not? Is this public? Is this something we can talk about?
Yeah, we just, I guess we're in the process of acquiring T-Sheets, which is the leading online time tracking app in North America. So we're really excited about that. It's a great company, similar culture to us, and something we can just build into our offering now and just make even that so much easier.
It's like when I think there was a screensaver, an iTunes screensaver that was a third party, and Apple purchased it back in the day. Like, somebody makes something so good that you're like, well, we're not going to be able to compete with that, so let's just integrate it. It's better than anything. We could have just hired you guys, or we should have.
Totally. Yeah, totally. I mean, when we say platform, from an app company to a platform company, really what it is opening up the data, obviously with the end user's consent, but just saying, hey, if anybody else can solve problems or solve it better than us, then great. Just like an Apple iPhone, right? Sure, it does a few things. It's an okay phone, has maps, etc. But what really makes the iPhone is all the apps that work on top of all the other things that make that device sing. That's exactly what QuickBooks Online is. And then occasionally you get one that's so beautiful that solves for so many, and then you're like, hey, why don't we just build this in?
And it's such a great analogy for what I believe the world should be like, right? Let's all collaborate and encourage people. Like I think someone said co-opetition.
Yeah.
It's let's not try to compete with each other. Let's cooperate and also, try to be better, but also support each other at the same time. Let's try to make something great.
Completely. That's got to be the mindset. That's how we will continue to innovate and move fast and just do right. I just had this conversation with one of the banks because we introduced this new relationship with CIBC. Or CIBC is now going to open up their bank. Yeah, the bank data. And that's really, really cool because that's a big deal for the banks.
Big deal for Canadian banks.
Yeah, in particular for Canadian banks, yeah. But now they're also thinking, hey, what's the information I can pull out of QuickBooks to solve problems together? And so that's great. Even when the banks are now thinking about how do we work as part of the ecosystem and think platform and partnership, that there's a movement when that happens.
Yeah, I want to congratulate you for encouraging the banks to collaborate. I think it's a great thing, and I think that's a good place to end. I know we're still in the middle of the conference, so I really appreciate this time.
My pleasure.
That you took out, and we have Roberta Bondar.
Yes, coming up next.
This is amazing. I've never seen her, and she's amazing.
Yeah.
Right? First Canadian astronaut, female astronaut.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got a number of firsts. She's incredible. I'm really looking forward to her talk, and it's been great. Just all of the speakers. Bruce Coxon yesterday.
Oh, he was.
So many great people.
I feel bad for Kevin O'Leary, but
yeah, a little bad.
Well, maybe not that bad.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciated the time.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Jeff and I talked about two different groups that use QuickBooks Online. The partner companies that have integrated with QuickBooks to try to make your life easier, and the ProAdvisor network, I'm one of them, that exists to help you with bookkeeping and accounting and your overall business. Sure, I could just write a blog about different apps, and I might, but I thought it would be better to hear from the companies themselves. So here are 7 real people to tell you about their companies and how they're going to help you streamline your experience with QuickBooks Online. First up is Claire from Knit Technologies, then Rhys from FundThrough, then Christian from Dream Payments, Brendan from AutoEntry, Paul from WayPay, Geoffrey from HubDoc, and Charmaine from Plooto.
My name is Claire. I am the VP of Sales for a company called Knit Technologies. We are a unified payroll, HR, and benefits platform that's actually been designed to optimize back-end redundant administration. So you'll find that most of our users are either bookkeepers and accountants who are then able to use our solution to leverage unification between themselves and their clients, having access to things like easy-to-use benefits as well as cool and really efficient HR flows right through to the payroll process. And then a lot of our other users are small-time business owners, CFOs, or HR professionals who really want to collaborate in real time in the cloud and leverage a very cost-effective solution, because where we hit the mark on the head for small business owners is being a free under 20 solution. So you can use our platform 100% for free. We'll do things like ROEs, T4s, give your employees portals and access to all of their important information in the cloud, while also ensuring that you stay legislatively compliant, because we will absolutely remit your taxes for you.
My name is Rhys, and I'm the marketing director here at FundThrough. FundThrough is easy online access to cash flow for small business owners. So business owners are very easily able to access working capital based off their invoices, and they can get that payment into their bank account advanced within 24 hours, as opposed to waiting, your traditional payment terms, call it 30, 60, or 90 days. And instead using an online platform where they can simply pick and choose when they want to receive those funds right away, and then repay early if they need to make sure they can manage and predict their cash flow. Today, small business owners really don't have that much control over their receivables, and they get paid sort of when they get paid, and that can make it really, really difficult to manage their business and to look ahead and to look forward. So FundThrough has built a model in the back that lets us understand the risk levels with small business owners who have great payors and they have great strength in their customers, and through that strength they're actually able to fund against invoices without an asset, and we can help them leverage their strength in their customers and deliver working capital.
My name is Christian Ali, Chief Marketing Officer at Dream Payments. Dream is a mobile point-of-sale solution. It's the only Canadian solution that is available off the shelf at a retailer. It's chip and PIN, so you can use your chip and PIN Interact Debit, Visa or MasterCard. You can also use your contactless cards or even mobile wallets like Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Android Pay. Basically, you download the app, register, activate the device, and start taking payments in as little as 20 minutes compared to traditional payment processors, which can take several days or even weeks. One of the key values that we provide, aside from being able to accept all forms of payment, is the fact that we're deeply integrated with QuickBooks Online. We're the only solution that has such a deep integration. Basically, every transaction performed on your Dream point of sale is instantly updated in QuickBooks Online. So your taxes, tips, fees, even your inventory is updated instantly. In addition to that, you can access open invoices in QuickBooks and have those paid partially or completely through the Dream mobile point of sale. And so when you put all of these together for small businesses, for an average business, it saves them about 1 day a month in bookkeeping or accounting. So it's like giving them 12 days back in their calendar every year. So a lot of value. It basically automates your accounting. And that's one of the key values that it provides there. In addition to that, we're actually a platform provider. So guys like Chase Payment Tech white label our solution to deliver their mobile point of sale solution in market. So you put all that together, What Dream's really focused on is making it easier for businesses to accept payments, run their business more efficiently, and get more time back so they can focus on things that matter most.
So my name is Brendan Woods, and I founded the company AutoEntry to basically automate data entry into bookkeeping software. Because, I used to work as a software developer, and I met with accountants who reported to me that they spend most of their time typing up bank statements or bills and receipts into accounting software rather than doing the bit that they were supposed to, that they're trained to do. But for the business owner as well, whether you're a carpenter or whatever it might be that you do, the point is that's what you do, right? If you're a barber or whatever it might be, that's your chosen profession. The bit that possibly you didn't expect to have to do was the 4 hours work in the evenings of actually the paperwork, right? And the funny thing is, we're here at the QuickBooks event in Toronto today because it's a great product. It helps run your business and organize your finances, but actually it does depend on you getting good information into the product. And although that product, like QuickBooks itself, is come down in price so much and you get so much more features than ever before, people are often spending still 10 times as much money getting information into the software as they pay for the software itself. So that's the problem we're trying to solve, essentially, that we automate the data entry so you can, from a smartphone, just automate the data entry by capturing pictures of your bills, your receipts, credit notes, even bank and credit card statements, so that you don't have to spend hours typing that stuff up, and it intelligently gets it into the right place for you in QuickBooks.
WayPay is an accounts payable platform that helps streamline and automate the accounts payable process. We have integration with QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop, really to make the outgoing payments of invoices and bills a lot more efficient. So, you create a bill or invoice in your QuickBooks account, you log into our platform, it automatically pulls in all that information into WayPay, and then you can pay to 130 countries and 120 different currencies anywhere in the world. The real feature is the auto reconciliation back in your QuickBooks. So no longer is a small business owner having to do manual journal entry updates. That's all done seamlessly through the accounts payable process with WayPay. Our motto or our ethos is, to make payments as efficient as possible and to charge as little as possible for payments. So we're always looking for the least cost routing option for all of our clients, whether that's paying domestically or internationally. So saving time, saving money on sending payments, featuring direct integration with QuickBooks.
My name is Geoffrey. I'm the Senior Product Marketing Manager at HubDoc, a cloud accounting application that helps accountants and bookkeepers save time by automatically collecting their clients' bank statements, bills, receipts, and invoices from over 700 financial institutions, utilities, telecom providers, and online vendors, extracting the key data and integrating with tools like QuickBooks Online for one-click reconciliation and audit proofing. Small businesses and accountants and bookkeepers use us because the transfer of financial documents between the two can sometimes be a hassle. If you've ever received a shoebox full of receipts from your clients at the end of the month, quarter, or year, you understand this pain. HubDoc eliminates those manual processes and automates the collection of financial documents and data entry, allowing accountants and bookkeepers to focus on higher value activities like providing advisory services and allowing small businesses to focus on what's really important to them, their business.
My name is Charmaine. I'm from Plooto Inc. We're based out of Toronto, Ontario. What Plooto does is basically we are an all-in-one payments platform. So small businesses and accountants love us because in one quick, easy dashboard, you can basically manage your payments, outgoing and receivables, any sort of recurring payments, and we do a whole suite of other business-oriented type payments like CRA, cheaper wires, and all of that good stuff. We are currently about 17 people strong, and we are growing our team very aggressively. Looking forward to working with the rest of you and hearing more about the other app partners that are here today at QB Connect Toronto. We'll see you guys soon.
Last but not least are the featured ProAdvisors, accountants and bookkeepers who you can trust with your books. My goal is to make sure I meet every person featured on this site. I met these 5 people at QuickBooks Connect, and here they are to tell you a little bit about themselves and how they will add value to your business. First is Lisa Zamparo from lisazamparo.com, then Elliott Stone from MDTax, Cathy Bonch and Londale Lindo-Sewell from ACCPro Services, and Vicki Curtis from Curtis-Villar and her new company, Digitfy Inc.
Hi, I'm Lisa Zamparo from lisazamparo.com. I'm a chartered professional accountant, and I just founded a company last year called The Wealth Company. It's spelt WELLTH, and that really shows that my take on wealth is that it's not just about money, it's about wellness in all aspects of your life, which is physically, financially, and emotionally. So I bring that sort of spirit or feeling to all of the work that I do with my clients. Now, what kind of value do I bring as an accountant? I think for me, what's most exciting is helping people feel more confident when dealing with their money. And I know for a lot of small businesses, entrepreneurs, and freelancers that dealing with the financial side or the finances of their business can be sort of overwhelming or make them feel insecure. And that's what I see my role is, as almost like a money confidence coach. I have the training and I speak the language of finances, and I can help people learn to speak that language for themselves and give them more confidence when they're making financial decisions in their business or, talking with their accountant.
Hi, my name's Elliott Stone from MDTax. We service about 200 physicians in Ontario with their tax and accounting needs. We basically help them through from the initial incorporation. If they're self-employed, we help them with their self-employed tax returns. If they're residents and fellows, we help them with their personal tax returns. So basically, whatever stage you're at in your career, we can help you out with the tax and accounting and business advice that you need. Depending on what your requirements or stage in your career, obviously, if you're a more sophisticated client, likely you might be preparing your personal taxes on your own, so you might just need us if you're deciding to incorporate, if it's the right decision, and then to help you with that process of it. If you're a client that doesn't have an accountant right now or isn't as sophisticated, then you probably want to get an accountant to help you with your annual personal tax filings, whether you're a resident or fellow or a self-employed physician. And we can give you the advice and expertise to help make sure you save as much tax as possible and do things the right way. Our practice is focused on physicians, so we have an expertise in that area. If you're on our website, mdtax.ca, you'll see a lot of great content. We're also very transparent about our service fees, so if you're on our webpage, you'll see there's a pricing page, and we have all the packages laid out depending on what stage you are in your career. And our packages, basically, they include preparing your tax returns, all the tax filings, as well as communication with the client, whether it's telephone or email, and also any correspondence that comes from CRA. So we try and make it as easy and user-friendly as possible for everyone.
Hi, I'm Cathy Bonch, and people always ask me why they should hire an accountant. Well, the fact is that 90% of small businesses are more successful when they work with an accountant. We have a skill set that many small business owners may not have. It is important to know how your business is doing throughout the year, not after the fact. Most importantly, it frees up your time to do the things that you do best. QBO is a smart way to combine your accounting and your banking. It allows your bank and credit card transactions to feed into your books every day. Your accountant can then reconcile your accounts and report to you the knowledge that you need to run your business successfully. Everyone here at the conference is very excited about the new features of QBO. They're offering great features and a vision for the future.
Hello, my name's Londale Lindo-Sewell, and I work at ACCPro Services, Inc. I'm a bookkeeper there. I work with an accountant, and we provide services that the customers really need to have put aside so that they could focus on their business, and we focus on making sure that their business is running smoothly. I personally love to do that because I feel like I'm giving back to the small to medium businesses, and that's really impactful in their lives and in my life as well, knowing that I'm helping them out to making their business as profitable as possible.
My name is Vicki Curtis. I'm here at QB Connect representing Curtis-Villar. We are a traditional form of an accounting firm. We do full service. One of the areas over the years that we have found we provide a lot of expertise and a lot of assistance, and our clients really appreciate us, is in the forms of trades. So plumbers, electricians, contractors, all of those, they come to us. What we find is a lot of times when these clients come, they don't have a filing system in place. It's more often than not that their filing system is on the floor of their truck or stashed away in a folder somewhere that they don't know where they last left it. So one of the things that's good for them, when they come to us, we collectively put that together, we set up a system for them, and whether it is working monthly or annually, hopefully not annually, we try to at least get quarterly so that we can have better conversations. We put that together for you, and we give you an idea of where your cash flow is at today and where you're looking to go. So what we try to do is move the conversations away away from the transactions and do you have a bank account, do you have credit cards, are you keeping your receipts, to here is your full package, here's what your books look like right now, but we know you want to grow 3% in the next 3 years. So here is what you need to do in order to do that. Whether that is you need to buy a new vehicle, or do you need to hire an employee, or do you need to cut down on costs in order to achieve these goals that you have in place. One of the things that is exciting for us is we are actually about to launch a new company. It's called Digitfy Inc. It will be completely cloud-based accounting. And the reason for that is that when it is your bookkeeping, sometimes you don't have time to actually come in and meet with us. In this way, we can get your documents electronically. We can still have the conversations, but maybe that's a phone call, maybe that's a Zoom meeting, maybe that is in the form of an email. That way you can still be on site, you can still be doing what it is that you do best, which is running your business, and we can do the rest. And the idea with that too is now you have confidence that if CRA does come in, we have all of your receipts. We've kept them in an electronic form, so now it's as simple as putting them together and sending them off. It's not you rushing around, oh my goodness, which truck? Did I sell that truck? Did I throw it out? Did it get in a bag? Did I give it to my ex? Did I put it in a filing storage that something happened to, So in this sense, it's all looked after for you, and you do have the confidence, and you don't have to lose sleep at night.
So head over to financialaccounting.ca to find all the links that were mentioned by any of the 13 guests on today's episode. I'm so happy to be launching this site. Until today, this idea has been living in my head, and now I have room in my head to create other things. One of those things will be a second podcast, and you guessed it, it'll be called The Financial Accounting Show. I'll be interviewing accountants and bookkeepers and others who are involved in the accounting world. My goal, as usual, is to provide you with as much information as I can so that you can make the right decision for you when it comes to your personal finances or your business finances. And remember to contact me if you're interested in my super discounted $10 a month subscription deal for QBO Plus. I only have 10 of these. But if you contact me and the 10 deals are gone, remember, I can always save you 50% on your existing subscription. All I ask is that you try my coaching service so that I'm not just a QuickBooks wholesaler. If you like this episode, please subscribe to the Personal Finance Show on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you like the content of this episode, then you will probably enjoy the Financial Accounting Show when it comes out, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for taking a trip to the small business side of things with me today. Next week, I'm back to telling personal finance stories with personal finance and travel expert Barry Choi.